The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hoop Ballers! Welcome back to another episode, another edition of Today in Sports Betting. I'm your host, Devin Ellington, at DALE007 on Twitter. This is a hoop-ball.com presentation. You can find us at Hoopball Gaming on Twitter. And today I will be joined by my main man, right hand and left hand man, Mr. VM Center at VM Center on Twitter, Vince Miracle. And before I get him in and we talk some hoops, maybe some fight card stuff, I'm going to talk about Manscaped first and foremost because they are the sponsor for the show. We have two. I'll talk about the other one later. But these guys are great. Check out the Lawnmower 3.0 that just came out on top of the Weed Whacker, all featuring anti-tug, pull technology. It's seamless, waterproof, lithium batteries, dual motors on the Weed Whacker to take care of your nostrils, your ear hairs, all that good stuff. You use promo code HoopBall20, HOOPBALL20 over at manscaped.com to receive that reward. Free shipping on us, plus some. Make sure to check out the Hoopball 360 and the Wager Pass content over on the website. Like I said, hoop-ball.com. We have some great injury blurbs on the side of your computer monitor screen, as well as some awesome forums that you can find at the bottom or in the forums tab. I would say start there, get used to the community. It's like a family. And then jump on some premium stuff and join the Discord with us. It'll be a great transition for you, I promise. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Vince in, and then we're going to get talking about some hoops and some NBA, and we'll get rolling. And, of course, I'm going to get my collegiate digs in. It wouldn't be a normal show without it. We got some early afternoon action starting about 3 Central. So we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. We're going to throw some live stuff out there, too. So it's a hodgepodge Frankenstein show. Vince, how you doing, bud?
Ben, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh, just enjoying this fabulous Thursday. Apparently,
hey,
there's supposed to be a polar vortex that's about to just kick the crap out of the Midwest. We're gonna have some awesome temperatures all next week, so I think we're all preparing for that.
You ready? I know you're doing some home repairs, so are you ready?
No, not really. No.
Well, I hope you're safe. That's all I can really do.
Yeah.
I'm all the way out here.
If y'all don't hear from me, about 3 or 4 days, then you can go ahead and get worried. So
I'm already worried.
But they say it so casually. They're like polar vortex. And we're like, what? So we got all sorts of vortexes over here, dude. We got tornado vortexes. We got polar vortexes. We got regular Texas down below us. Anyways, California is still golden and sunshiny.
Here, rain's already passed by. I got the garbage man and lawnmowers out front and back right now, taking care of everything. And I'm just looking over these lines trying to figure out what am I doing today, because I'll be honest, I don't really like any of them. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Not a fan of today's card.
I definitely had to do deep scrubs on finding my 15 plays. I found that's kind of my sweet spot, my number. It's where I've found some success in the quantity that I play. And between college ball and NBA, man, I had a hard time. I had 3 NBA plays, and it's a medium-sized slate. There's 5 games, so We got some good ones to talk about too, and they're all pretty good matchups, honestly. All really good matchups. So you want to just start with Utah and Atlanta, or where you want to just go like rapid fire random shot? How do you feel about today's show?
Captain of the ship, you lead the way and I'll follow.
All right. So here we go. Just because I have slight ODD tendency, or more than slight, we'll just kind of go from earliest to latest, and we'll kick it off in time order. Utah, Atlanta, a really good first game, honestly. And this is a game I have a play on. It's been a bit of a weird fish market line because of the health and the players involved. And Trae Young, in or out, I don't know. Utah, they have a couple guys, in or out. Donovan Mitchell's still in concussion protocol from the last time I checked. And so right now we're at 8.5. Utah road favorites. It opened at 5. 225.5 is the total right now. It's come up 3 points from 222.5 from last night around midnight when I checked it. So this is a weird game. I would say fish market of the night, and it's a little smelly, but I got a little action in on it, and I got Utah -7 before it rose another point.
Utah is only -3.
-3.
Yeah.
What am I looking at then?
Right now, Utah is -3. I'm assuming Trae Young news must have came out that he might be playing. Even with that said, I mean, I think taking Jazz -3 is just fine as long as Donovan Mitchell is there. That was like my big thing was because when I woke up this morning, they were at -5.5, I think. So that's the thing that like really scared me. I was like, that's just too much for me. And yeah, Mitchell's playing. I think here at this specific line, -3, taking the Jazz, I feel comfortable with it. I know Dan Vesperis is leaning on those Hawks if Trae Young is playing, and I'm looking for Trae Young news right now as we speak.
Yeah, I'm scavenging myself.
I still just see game time decision and questionable with that calf injury. If I had to make a guess, he is playing.
Yeah.
But even with him playing, I'm sorry, I have to disagree. I'm going with those Utah Jazz. They're playing too good right now.
Yeah, they're a buzzsaw. I've tried betting against them twice in the last week. I'm over. Some referee assignments because I love talking about those guys.
Here we go. I apologize, Devin.
Go for it.
So I see it here. They've taken out the main spread of this game, and this is they only have the first quarter put up for me right now.
Oh, okay.
So first quarter is -3 for Atlanta. It's weird that they don't have the full game here though.
I was about to say I'm not sure what I'm over here trying to refresh and check other sources and all that good stuff. Cross-reference.
I was like at -3. I feel really confident taking the Jazz. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
But now I see it's first quarter spread.
So. DeAndre Hunter's rolled out too. I forgot about that. And he's been playing big for Atlanta this year. Real quickly, I'll talk about these referees because they matter. James Williams, over-under record. The under is 9-5, so hits 64% of the time. Bill Kennedy, the under is 7-9, 43% of the time the under hits. Then you got Jenna Schroeder, female counterpart on the refereeing aspects, 6-5, so 54.5% on the under hitting. But do with that what you will. Home ATS record, with Jenna Schroeder being in there, home ATS is 1-10, 9.1%, 5-9 for Mr. James Williams, but Bill Kennedy letting home teams cover ATS at 10-6, 62.5%. So some really fun referee gigs. But I'm going to go ahead and retract my 7.5 play. There's just, like I said, too much fishiness, too much volatility. I'd rather fill this game in with another college basketball play or something.
I was about to say that. Like I said, man, everything about today just feels too trappy.
Yeah, I'm backing out of that one.
It doesn't feel right. None of it feels right to me on this one. And especially after yesterday, And I don't know if you saw my tweet, but yesterday you can't hide from the results. And when you saw my wager picks, I mean, I had the Celtics -2 over the Kings for 2 units, and I had 3 units on the Hawks to beat the Mavs, and I thought they were going to do it. They looked good that whole first half, and for some reason they just had, maybe it's for the calf, they had Trae Young sitting too long on the bench and kind of screwed me in the end. So I actually am down, but still to be up, I think 8 points right now, 8 units on the week, and we still got a couple days left. I'm feeling okay. It's just you don't want to just start fishing and overstepping on some of these bets, and when it doesn't look good, you don't really want to do anything with it.
Yeah. So what I did with my day yesterday was gas up the Charlotte Hornets to beat the Sixers. 2 plus 250 plus 300 money line value. So that didn't happen. I thought I had a good eye on a dog on the card, and it didn't come out. They only lost by 7, but they were down by like 20 at one point in the game. So there's some garbage time in there. It wasn't pretty.
This is my game.
Yeah. So Golden State, Dallas, is that the one you want to talk about?
On the slate, let's go ahead and go for it.
All right. +3 for Golden State. Man, Golden State's above 500. Dallas, not. They're 9-13, getting some guys back from injuries. Finney Smith, like I said on yesterday's show. Josh Richardson. And Zinger out there blocking shots and hitting threes. Luka's been underperforming a little lately in my book. This total's gotten a lot of movement. It went from 224.5 to 228.5. So you'd probably be looking at either going with that steam or middling, if you want to use Dan's theory on playing totals in the NBA. I use a 5-point rule in the NCAA. I'm not too sure how it pans out in the NBA. Just actually had someone in the Discord ask that. But yeah, Golden State, Dallas, pretty quality matchup, even matchup, and close line. But Dallas is actually starting to click a little bit better right now.
Just broke their 6-game skid yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an interesting team. They're very bad defensively. I know everyone wants to harp on the Nets, but defensively, the Mavericks haven't really been there either. However, with that said, they have been missing a lot of their key pieces, like a Josh Richardson, Kleba, and Dorian Finney-Smith. So they're just now getting these guys back, and now is the time for them to win. And it's going to be against the Warriors team that will have Draymond Green starting at center tonight. And I think that's why you see the Mavs as the favorite. I think obviously it's that the -3 is because they're at home. I always give someone a -3 right off the bat when they're at home, and it looks like that's the only thing Vegas is doing. But in my opinion, the Mavericks should be able to cover this. Kristaps Porzingis, Kleba, I mean, they have so many bigs that they can throw out there, and then not to mention how big Luka Doncic is and how big of an impact he can play down there as grabbing rebounds. I think that's going to be key. I have the Mavericks winning this game, and not again though it kind of scares me and it feels trappy because it is the second night of a back-to-back for them. They just got back, I believe, from Atlanta because their game was on the road yesterday.
Yep.
Second is the Warriors not having any bigs means they're just going to play straight small ball, and we've seen the success they've had with just running small ball lineups in the past. However, in that time, that was with Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. Obviously, they don't have those players anymore, but they do still have Steph. He's playing out of his mind. I believe he's second in scoring in the league right now. He's just been phenomenal. So you can't rule them out. But I'm leading Mavs here -3. I'm also going to take the over on 228.5.
Yeah, lots of offense, even though the back-to-back is in play. Obviously, I think those weak, wobbly legs will affect the defense more than the offense. But, that's just a narrative that I like to hold on to. A couple guys getting some run. And then, you talked about all the people coming in and out for Dallas. We forgot to mention Dwight Powell. He's still not back, and I think he helps the defensive aspects of Dallas's team once he comes back. But for Golden State, Juan Toscano Anderson, he's a young guy that's been getting some run lately, and he's really fun to watch. He's just a big that has a lot of energy and does a lot of stuff, covers a lot of space, and he's just kind of fun to watch. Like a 16-minute a guy night for deeper, league considerations if you think about it.
I have a prop bet. I have over 7.5 points for Draymond Green tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Again, having to play center, going to have an expanded role. I think he's also going to be the facilitator for the second unit. He's going to just see a lot more time in this game. It's just sitting at 7.5. I know he's not just a great scorer or anything like that, but he'll find ways to put buckets up. I think you're going to see a lot of him screening and rolling, and I can just see him getting 10 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists today. And it's going to be a good game for Draymond. I think Eric Pascal is also the sneaky DFS play of the day. But for a prop bet, guys, it pays even money. It's good bet for a guy that's going to have an expanded role. I like over 7.5 points for Draymond Green today.
Yeah, 7.5 is a good mark for him. I could see him definitely having 9. It's just kind of a Draymond number, especially with how he plays since coming back from injury. The 7 o'clock game is Portland and Philadelphia. And right now it's a double-digit spread. Philadelphia, 10-point home favorite. I see a projection grade of a D+ on the Portland plus 10. So not a whole lot of faith in Portland covering this. A lot of sharp money and big money on the Philadelphia 76ers side. And, do you think Philly's going to roll? I mean, the Trailblazers don't have a lot of people active, and the Sixers are going to have Simmons. He's probable. Dame is out. Jones is out. Derek Jones, Nasir Little. CJ McCollum's already out. Zach Collins. Portland, the health has been the bane of their existence the last 2 years, 3 years. Terry Stotts can't catch a break.
This is an avoid that game. This game.
Yeah. That's what I was feeling.
It's not even really. I mean, if you had to, I guess you take the -10 for those that really want to bet on this game. I guess you take the -10. I would even take over on 223, just because you still have guys like Anthony Simons, Carmelo. I mean, you got guys.
Rodney Hood.
You got guys that can
score
put the
for
ball
20.
in the hole. You know what I mean? But it's.
Well, and then also Philly's going to score buckets.
You know what? I think the only bet that makes sense for this one, and I'm glad I'm doing it here with you, Devin. Robert Covington.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Did you see him the other night? He actually had a game. What do you have, like 18 points?
I had the over on 11.5 points, and guess where it sits at today? 11.5 points, baby. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm a Rocco apologist. I'm a stan. I'm his backer. I'm a supporter. I dang near should get a piece of that contract. I'm his hype man.
Well,
Rocco.
Yeah, you have that stamp right there. That's your dawning.
I'm not taking it. I'm definitely not going to take that. I'm definitely not taking that. However, there is an over/under on 11.5 rebounds for Enes Kanter. Can I be honest? I'm taking the under.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of Kanter today. I think it's going to become a blowout early. I think you're going to see a lot of Harry Giles. And this is for the DFS guys out there, because I know that a lot of them listen to this because, again, it's money. They want to hear about player props. I like the unknowns or the guys that need to still get minutes so they can keep developing. So Anthony Simons, Harry Giles. I think Rodney Hood is on that list just because he's still making his way back from injury. Gary Trent. I like all of those guys to be putting up numbers in this game.
I was
Robert
just going to bring Trent up.
Yeah, I think Robert Covington, if there's a way that you can bet on steals, I haven't been able to find it, but I think he gets you 3 steals today. So there's that.
I was looking at Gary Trent stuff. Holy crap, man. Over under 18.5 points for him. I mean, he has been lighting it up lately. Had like 6 or 7 threes in the game the other night. But it's, over under 18.5, and it's at minus 125. So it's like lots of juice on top of that high number. So
Too
wonder if
much.
Vegas knows something that we don't, and if that's just a hammer spot. Or, I mean, I'm not considering it. I'm just pondering and kind of baffled by that market setting right there.
You got to think it's a guy that's going to shoot a 3-pointer every time he sees it open. He's going to have the green light tonight. He's basically going to be thrown into the CJ McCollum / Damian Lillard role, which is get the ball up the court, get a screen, shoot the ball, and see what happens. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see the Blazers run a different type of offense, and I feel like they've been doing it lately, mainly just due to the fact that they have to. But I like when the ball is moving. I hate the Portland offense. Let's just be honest.
One of my favorite things to watch, it really just gets me going, is Carmelo going 2 for 19. That's just some good offense right there. That's great quality basketball. I love watching that. I picked him up and he went 2 for 19. I was like, what the hell? Anyways, volume shooters. Let's see. 8 o'clock game. Houston, Memphis. I got to play on the total. There's been a lot of spread movement as far as points goes. Houston plus 3.5 after being just single point dog. Memphis, they got some guys filling in. Mr. Melton coming back and being a part of the lineup in the rotation. You got Xavier Tillman. They're starting to get people back in. John Morant, I think he's not 100%. Something happened last game or something, went to the locker room. So, yeah, Houston also post-Harden, they've been trying to figure out their identity. I went ahead and went over 224.5 on this one. Divisional game, and I could see one of these teams scoring 120. I'm not sure which one, but I could see one of them doing it.
Honest, this is the only bet I have on the day. So take that into effect of why I'm going to hype up this conversation a little bit into my favor, because I already have a 3-unit bet on this one because it's the only bet I made, and so I just went big on it. And I rolled with the dog. I got the Houston Rockets. Look, I get that they're not playing Victor Oladipo today, but John Wall is expected to return. He didn't miss last game due to any injury. It was just due to rest, load management, which is understandable. He's a guy coming off an ACL injury. That's number one. Number two, the bigs right now from Memphis are Xavier Tillman and Gorgie Dang. And if those two guys are the guys that are slowing down someone like Christian Wood and Boogie Cousins, who did have a good game off the bench in their last outing, I would be pretty blown away. I think John Morant's going to get his own. I'm sorry, but I've started selling a lot of my shares in the Dylan Brooks project. I can't stay on the Brooks train with anybody else. I've sold a lot of my stock in him. Tyus Jones has been good, but again, a bench player. I think the X factor today for the Grizzlies is going to be a guy like Kyle Anderson, or the one who I have on my list of must watch right now and needs to get more minutes is Anthony Melton. I think he's been playing really well. But you still look at this Rockets team. They still got guys like Daniel House making their way back. You still get a guy in Eric Gordon to fill in for Victor Oladipo.
Tate's been playing out of his mind lately.
Defense has been incredible there. Christian Wood has been playing really good. You still got PJ Tucker for the defense. I mean, everything, you look at the depth of this roster, the experience on this roster, and I think the fact that they like having the chip on their shoulder that everyone has already counted them out since Harden has been traded, and they have not been playing that bad. So with that all being said, they're plus 140. My money looks good with them being the dog. I'm feeling good. Like I said, I have a large bet on this one, and it's the only bet I have on the NBA slate today. And it's the Houston Rockets money line, three units, and then I'll take 3 units on plus 3.5 as well. I know it's a road game for them, but again, you're only losing out on Oladipo. As long as John Wall plays, which is the expectation for today, they should still find a way to win this.
I really like it when Wood and Wall play together. That's a really good combo. And I really, really like watching those two work together on the offensive side of the court. Both of them are, good defenders also. So, and to speak on Houston, they've won 4 of their last 5. The last 2, they played a back-to-back with Oklahoma City, winning 1 by 30 and then losing 1 by 30. So complete anomalies on both sides. And, they've been covering ATS 3-2 in their last 5. So I'm with you on the Houston side. Memphis is just trying to ride out this wave of people being out with health and safety protocols. Dylan Brooks is, like you said, volatile, and I don't trust him. I don't understand why he gets so much run and so much usage. And then being down JV is huge, Mr. Valanciunas. So Houston, which Josh Lloyd, which, fantasy basketball world knows who he is. I like his nickname for Christian Wood. He calls him the crucifix, because crucifixes are made of wood and Christians use them, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to look at the pun. And
be that team savior after the James Harden trade. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Christian Wood. He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
I wasn't on the hype train for Christian Wood for like this signing. I was like, I get it. He's a backup. Most casual NBA fans probably didn't even know what team he came from before he was signed to the Rockets. And people were making fun of the fact that if Christian Wood was the best player option in free agency, there's a problem with free agency. Like, not everyone was on this hype train, but I have to give it to him because I was one of those people that were not, and I have to admit I was wrong. He's a really good basketball player with still a lot of upside.
Yeah, a lot of potential. There's nights where you see him take it a little easier. Cruise
New York
down.
Porzingis. He reminds me of New York Porzingis for sure.
Porzingis. So the last game, probably the best matchup, marquee matchup, got Denver and LA Lakers, the Showtime Lakers. Showtime 2.0. Is that? I mean, are they qualified as 2.0? Showtime.
They're more. I watch them play all the time. I feel like they're more like really good Memphis. What would that 2010 Memphis?
Yeah.
With like Mike Conley, Tony Allen, first team all defense, Zebo. Yeah. And guess what? They got one of their key guys there, Marc Gasol.
Yeah.
So, and when they play slow like that. AD's down there in the post doing work, hitting those mid-range jumpers, just like Zebo, defense, driving kicks. Like, that's what they remind me of. They remind me of that old school Memphis team, just with way better offense because of one player and one player only.
So instead of Showtime, it's Slow Time.
Grind City out there in LA right now.
Yeah. And, they are the home favorite by 5 points. It opened at 6 for the Nuggets on the road as underdogs. 216.5 on the total. It's come down from 219. So movement on both sides. A lot of bets, obviously, this being a 9 p.m. game, last game of the night on TNT. It's definitely got the most bets of the evening from what I'm tracking, around 1,400, 1,437. And so the numbers that I'm seeing here, I've already got a Denver +5 ticket. I think Denver's playing really well right now, and they're not a terrible road team at all. And, they just beat the Jazz. They lost to the Spurs. They beat the Heat. They beat the Mavericks. They beat the Suns. The Lakers, they've been playing some cupcakes a little lately. And they've also went 1-4 in their last 5 ATS. They won against Cleveland, didn't cover. Lost outright and ATS against Philly. lost outright and ATS against Detroit. Won outright, lost ATS against Boston. And these are all road games, so maybe a home court refresher is what they needed. But then Atlanta, they won and covered. So, like I said, I talked about the Nuggets' road successes a little bit. They're 7-3 on the road in their last 10 straight up, and 6-4 on the road this year. And yeah, so I mean, I like the Nuggets spot. They're healthy. I'm not seeing too much in concerns of that. And PJ Dozier and Gary Harris are both out, so I guess if you want to count that.
Again, this is another game I don't really like. I feel like the line should be closer. I think the Nuggets are a good team. I think what Will Barton shows up for them in the starting lineup. Michael Porter Jr. has played better, but I mean he's still been struggling since coming back. I mean, I don't know, man. Is Jamal Murray going to have that game? Because if so, that opens the door for Jokic. But that's the thing. Like, Jokic is their best player, and you're going to see a lot of, like, Marc Gasol on him. I don't know. Like I said, if I had to lean one way or the other, I'm taking the points and I'm taking the Nuggets just because offensively they're really good, and they tend to want to show up for these big games. And I think they're looking for something against these Lakers. This would be a tone setting game for the rest of their, like, I'm not saying for the rest of their season, but it would be like a good boost for this Nuggets team that's kind of been, figuring it out still. They've been hit with injuries. They've been trying to find their way even with Jokic playing phenomenal. I don't know. I'm leaning more toward the Nuggets. I like the points. And I'm taking the over on 216.5. I can see this being one of those games where it's just high paced, a lot of layups, slows down kind of toward the middle to end of the third, and then picks back up near the halfway point of the fourth quarter. But again, it all depends on what Will Barton and what Jamal Murray shows up in this game.
Yeah, those guys are going to be huge. And then here's another one. I'll throw him out there just because I like the guy. He's a Big 12 basketball player, so sorry, blame me. But Monty Morris, what he does with his 20 minutes is going to be huge for the Nuggets. He might get upwards of 25 with, Dozier and Gary Harris being out. So I'm seeing a projection grade of a C at +5. The projection line is +3.7. So closer than that, a little value in that sense. Like I said, I honestly think that the Nuggets can just go ahead and win this game. I was looking at some numbers and such over the last 10 years of NBA seasons. Each night, at least one quarter of all the NBA games on the card will end in an upset, a pure upset, be it gambling perspective or, pure power rankings. And, if we look at the games tonight and we see that, the Lakers against Denver at home, that's a pure underdog right here in Denver on the road by +5 points. Philly, we think, is going to take care of business at home against Portland. Dallas at home against Golden State. We could see that probably being an upset, but more than likely we're expecting Dallas to win that. Utah going on the road and taking care of business against Atlanta. Kind of moot point in what we're talking about here. Houston being an underdog against Memphis, technically. So what we're looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and if a quarter of those are going to go to the way of the underdog, 1 to 2 of these games are going to be won by the underdog. So we see some value, I think, in my eyes, in Denver and in Houston. Just based off of everything that I've kind of observed. So interesting NBA card, really fishy all around though.
Smells like a day where you should just be avoiding it. That ain't good. That's not fresh sushi over there. You don't want to eat that.
That's gas station grade.
Yeah, that's a dirty pot of coffee. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good. It's not going to wake you up. It's going to make you sit on the other toilet bowl.
And we've talked about clean pots on this show before, so don't
There it is.
don't even get us started on those.
That's what
So
I'm saying. You want a good, clean coffee pot when you make your coffee. Trust me, the taste is different. And this one is a dirty, rusty, old coffee pot. The only bright spot is they have some good creamer, and that's that Houston Rockets money line.
yeah, yeah, I'm a hazelnut guy, so I
I'm a half and half type of guy.
simple. I try to be with just about everything, but there's something about hazelnut that just does something to the coffee.
All
And
right.
since we've talked about how the NBA side is a little stinky and a bit of a fish market tonight, we can look at the college side and take some looks at the value on that sector as well. But fair warning and full disclosure up front, it's a decent size card, but it's not a ton of there's not a lot of value being presented. And so we'll briskly run through it. We've got some stuff that we've chatted about in the Discord already. I'm going to talk about mybookie.ag before we do, though, and go ahead and segue from professional to collegiate. They take bets on both. You should place bets on both. Over at mybookie.ag, you use promo code HOOPBALL, HOOPBALL. You'll get your 50% match up to $1,000. And then you'll also get the phenomenal customer service after you sign up and all the way through your gambling experience with them. Full easygoing mobile platform for different games such as blackjack and multi-hand blackjack and Texas Hold'em, slot machines, all sorts of game modes. And then you can also go ahead and get some futures markets for the upcoming baseball season coming up here in the next month or so. And I'm a baseball guy, so we're going to be talking about some baseball here in a little bit. And, take all the Wager Pass stuff and all the free plays that we throw out there, go over to my bookie, use that free money, and place your bets, win, and get paid. So it's as easy as that. Let them know we sent you, though. That's the most important part. And then, of course, winning is this probably 1A in that, in between number one and number two. So, Vince, I've actually got a few college games that I'm a fan of. I'm losing my one play right now. Tennessee State kind of crapping the bed against Edwardsville of Southern Illinois. And
I don't make a lot of college picks, but can I tell you the only one I made today?
Yeah.
Pick I made today that I actually really like is Merrimack -2.
Yeah, Merrimack was on my card. I like that team. They're playing St. Francis out of PA, Philadelphia. And this was actually a game that we talked about in the Discord server on the college basketball Wager Pass side. And over under 137.5 is what we were kicking around because this line moved quite a lot. But you spoke about, Merrimack. And I think the quality of play on the other side of the court in St. Francis is, just as good. These are two pretty good lower level teams. Good coaching. You see them play tough. There's good defense there. So opportunity for points off turnovers. Free throw shooting percentages are pretty good for both teams. And the offense, they don't overrush things. So, this is a really good quality game that's going to actually be tipping off here in about 22 minutes, as we record this.
Yeah, I like that it's a defensive. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where it just comes down to a possession. And when it's something like this, and I'll be honest, I haven't been able to watch as much college basketball this year as I've wanted to, just mainly due to the fact that I have a lot going on, helping right here with the hoops ball betting and just work in general, So it's been a little different for me this year, not being able to watch college hoops as much as I want to. With that said, man, I think Merrimack's defense and then all around play of slashing to the basket is really going to help. But really, just that rim protection down there is going to be the thing that keeps them from covering the spread.
Yeah, it's a like I said, fun little 3 o'clock sample appetizer, to get things rolling. Let's see. Let's make sure I go in order. Lost my spot. Lots of 6 o'clock games. Actually let's see. Yeah, that was the only 3 o'clock game. I was thinking of the other game that's going on right now. All right, never mind. All right, so Morehead State. This is going to be a really fun game. I'm going to think it. I think it's going to just go ahead and be like a back and forth game. Over-unders at 130.5. It opened at 128.5. I'm nestled right there in the middle at 129.5. And Morehead State, man, they're up to 13 wins on the year, and they started the year slow, but their offense is starting to play really well. Murray State starting to become a little more efficient, and then there's been some line movement. Murray State was a +1.5 road dog. Now they're a 2.5-point favorite. So Morehead State not getting any love or any respect in the respects of Mr. Rodney Dangerfield in that sense at home. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. Biggest game on the card. And it's a number 7 versus number 8 matchup. Ohio State, Iowa, Big Ten, top of the Big Ten in the grasp of the winner here. +6 for Ohio State. It's a battle of the Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes. Eye for an eye. -6 for Iowa at home. Over under 156.5. And we in the college betting side. I'm not sure how much you hang out in the Discord server of that one, Vince, but we have a 5-point rule that we go by, and I speak about it in my write-ups and everything. Whenever there is a line on the total side that shifts one way or the other by 5 points, we always just slingshot the opposite way when it hits that 5-point threshold. So this one is in a 5-point rule. It was 161.5 when it opened last night. Come down to 156.5. So I'm slingshotting right back over to 156.5. I've seen multiple high marquee level matchups featuring Iowa go over the total. Namely, when they played Baylor, when they played Gonzaga, they flew over to about 170, 180 on the total points scored. And Ohio State, they're not an offensive chub, so they can score points. They're not terrible. They're not going to just sit back and not do anything. So defensively, they can allow a lot to Luka Garza, his kickouts to the three-pointers. So I think this is going to just be a phenomenal game, obviously, by my long-winded intro to it. So those are my thoughts on the whole gamut of that game, Vince. And then a little less magnitude of a matchup. We got Austin Peay taking on Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky went ahead and, came out as a 5-point favorite. But the road team, Austin Peay, is a 2.5-point dog now. And we've been on the Austin Peay train over here at Hoopball. I've been writing them up. I've been shouting them out on the podcast. They've been covering. I think they can win this game outright against Eastern Kentucky. 152.5. Nothing really for me on the total. I'm taking Austin Peay +3. That's where I locked it in. And that's what I'm looking to play. So looks like we were disconnected from Vince. So we had him on for the NBA side majoritively. So let me hammer out this college basketball stuff, and we will get the podcast out to y'all. And obviously look for Vince's chime-ins on Discord and the Twitter side, and hit him up with any college basketball stuff you want to talk about also. We'll get you covered at VM Center there for Vince. So we'll see if he pops back in. But without further ado, let's go Cincinnati Temple. I put this game on my card. I'm actually pulling it off. So this is a punt. I'm going to move forward off of it. Presbyterian, Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb -10. It's down to 8.5. I was sure that it was going to move the other way, but Presbyterian has been playing good ball lately. I put in a play at -10 for Gardner-Webb. Approach with caution. This is a weird line movement. So I'm going to move on to Gonzaga, number one team. This is going to be a wager pass play. Just going to lift the paywall right now. This is in the article. I sent over some plays to Dan earlier. This is included. Gonzaga, number one team, 17-0 on the road, taking on Pacific, a conference foe. Gonzaga dominates this conference, and they do it year in, year out. They have a lot more depth. And when you get to this part of the season, you see them just lawn mowing across people. And Pacific does not have the depth to contend. 23.5. Gonzaga goes on the road, wins probably by 28. Minnesota, hold on, let me check the 6 o'clock games, make sure I didn't jump. Oh, I skipped to 3 and a 5 o'clock. All right. Wagner, St. Francis, New York, 3 o'clock game. I'm not going to go and talk about this one too much. 3.5 for Wagner, being a road dog. 139 is the total. Punt, just because we're trying to wrap this college side up and get the show out to you guys, and that game starts in 15 minutes. South Carolina upstate against Radford. I love Radford -9. I think they're obviously a way better team than Upstate. Upstate's got a lot of returning production from last year, but as you can tell by their 3-11 record, it wasn't a lot of production. So gonna go ahead and stay off this one as well, but Radford to win this one obviously is the way to look at it. Arizona, Utah. Arizona -1.5. Utah home dog. Pac-12 has been weird to me lately, especially Arizona with the postseason ban over their heads. And I'm going to go ahead and punt because Arizona's been playing phenomenal. So I wouldn't be shocked if they won by 17, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Utah won. So BYU, Portland, another big spread in that Western conference. And BYU -19, 144.5. I'm good on both sides of that. I'm going to go ahead and stay away. Like I said, this is a large card, not a lot of value. So if it seems like I'm putting a lot, I am. I had to work to get to my 15 plays. So Fairleigh Dickinson, Long Island University, +4.5 for Fairleigh Dickinson. On the road, 158 is the total. I like the Fairleigh Dickinson side just because I have backed them a couple times, and I think I'm 50% on them this year. Long Island's offense is just really good. They play really quick. They play really smart. They have a nice precision, dynamic on offense. So Fairleigh Dickinson, a little more slow, a little more, sluggish, defensive based. So don't get me wrong, I like Fairleigh Dickinson, but LIU at home, this is a tough matchup. Let's see what else I got at about 6 o'clock. See if I got some 6:30 games here. Six 30, 6. No, okay. All right, let's jump into some 7 o'clock matchups. 7:30. There's only one. Belmont, Eastern Illinois. Belmont and another big spread, -13.5. I am not really skilled at doing the Belmont big spreads. I'm all over the place with them this year, so I'm going to stay away. They're on my do not bet list. Eastern Illinois moved into that territory recently also, so this game features 2 teams that give me the heebie-jeebies. 8 o'clock, Montana State, Weber State, same thing. These 2 teams are starting to balance out. Weber State's on a massive run right now, playing some good ball. Montana State also. +6. I think that's too many points, but I don't know. Weber State's been blowing a lot of people out. I tried to bet against them the other day, a few days ago. It didn't work. So let's stay away from this one. If y'all want something on it, I would say maybe look at the over just because both offenses are clicking. But as far as a matchup and a dynamic goes in that regard, it's actually just, now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually just a good college ball game. This is, both of these teams are going to be trying to get their 10th win, and they're towards the top of their conference. So flip on over to Pluto TV. That's where it says it's going to be streaming on, or your favorite streaming service. Not saying that we can and cannot endorse that, but check them out. Washington, Oregon State. Washington is such a weird team to bet on or against this year. Games were flying under by 50 points, and now they're flying over by like 30. Complete stay away from me. Talked about Gonzaga Pacific already. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Minnesota Rutgers. Give me the under 138.5. It's gone up to 140.5, opposite of my pick. So, oops. Colorado State, Wyoming, -8 for Colorado State. Wyoming down some key pieces. I would back Wyoming, but I tried that a couple times without their key guys that they're down right now, and it didn't work. That team just did not mesh around their loss. Under 153.5 instead. It's at 152 now. Utah State, Fresno State. Utah State's rolling right now, -11.5. I'm taking that. Fresno State, they're getting some guys back in, but they're still losing people in and out. Fresno State's just kind of on this weird scheduling thing right now. They're not scoring a lot of points. Utah State's defense has just been top notch, recently. Their offense is putting the ball in the hoop, and they are just a team that looks really good right now. One of my favorite games of the night right here, Jacksonville State against UT Martin, University of Tennessee Martin, the Skyhawks. And so this game, I love it for the total play. And the line movement, doesn't really scare me off of it. I have over 140. I like that number because I love the way both these offenses play. I like how they get up the court. Jacksonville State's defense can lock in very well from time to time. So the overplay, that's one concern I have. UT Martin, not as efficient as Jacksonville State on offense. So if they go dry, AKA are guarded and locked down from a long stretch, that scares me. But ultimately, I think this is going to be a competitive game. There's going to be huge runs and large quantities of buckets being scored in small windows. So I'm looking for over 140 in this game. Jacksonville State, UT Martin. Eastern Washington and Idaho, 0-13 Idaho. I hate betting against teams that have 0 wins. It's just so hard. You don't know what their motivation level is going to be. So punt. Stanford, Cal. I tried to find a way to play this game. I couldn't nestle in anywhere. It's at -5.5 for Stanford, so some movement. On the Cal side, Cal's been playing really well lately. Some defense starting to show. But ultimately, let's stay away from this one. Again, I like the Stanford team, but, this is a tough road matchup. Cal could probably win this one tonight. We talked about Washington and Oregon State. Tennessee Tech, Southeast Missouri. Stay away again here. This is another punt game, y'all. Like I told you, it's a lot of card, but it's not a lot of value. So if you think I'm taking the easy way out, then that's how it is sometimes. You don't have to play everything. I still got to my 15 plays and lots of punts, lots of games to talk about. But Tennessee Tech and Southeast Missouri, +4 for Tennessee Tech. 2 wins on the season, 135.5, down from 137. Southeast Missouri's been playing middling ball the last few games, but they've had some really, really rough patches. Tennessee Tech, sometimes it's just like they have supernovas of offensive explosion from time to time. If they scored 90 tonight, that wouldn't be too crazy. And then there's Washington State and Oregon to cap it all off. Pac-12 matchup, I believe Bill Walton will no, it's Fox Sports 1, so dang, no Bill Walton on the Pac-12 call. That's always disappointing. I love Bill Walton. Washington State +11. I wasn't really looking at that number earlier, but now that I'm looking at it, I like that a lot. I also really liked over 134.5. It's at 135.5 now. This is going to be a good game. I like this matchup. 10 o'clock Chase game, Fox Sports 1. 600 bets I'm seeing tracked on it right now. And yeah, this is going to be fun. I like the side of Washington State +11, even though they're chiming down, they're trending down. And, Oregon's up and down this year. Dana Altman, still a great coach, but they've had postponements and interruptions of their schedule. They've lost some games at home this year, namely Colorado earlier in Pac-12 play. But Washington State, pretty good team. Pretty good team. Wager Pass plays will be submitted, uploaded, and all that here soon. We're going to have lots of different content over there for you at hoop-ball.com. You got types of windows to ask questions. You've got all sorts of things to go to, tributaries of knowledge and information and tool sets. Also, we're going to have some DFS stuff to talk about tonight. We got our professionals on the grid. Don't forget those promo codes, and please don't forget 5-star reviews. Go over to Apple Music right now as you listen to this and leave a 5-star review if you think it's worth it. If you leave us 1 star, you better tell us why. So that's the rule around here. I mentioned the promo codes, mentioned the premium content. I'm not going to jam it down your throats, but it's important to us to grow, and it's important to us to make sure that you utilize all that we can offer you. So it's a win-win. We're going to have an awesome Friday show. And then also, perhaps a weekend show. Get like a primer for the week coming. Yeah, we'll start talking some good stuff. Not that we already aren't. So, as always, I am sending you all of my good vibes, all of my good energies. Once again, I am at DALE007 on Twitter. This is a show presented by hoop-ball.com, hoop-ball.com. Find us at Hoopball Gaming on Twitter. I'm Devin Ellington, your host. We'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. Take care.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.